Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, My First Season. My name is Greg. A very special guest today. This guest today was brought to me by my podcast recruiter, who you may know as Tim Lowe, TR Lowe. I called him Jim in a previous podcast because I forgot that he said it's okay if I use his name. So if you ever hear me say the word Jim, I meant Tim Lowe. All right. My guest today comes to me from London, England.
Ooh, not so much. It would be London, Ontario.
Oh, okay. London, Ontario. Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't have the sexy accent.
Well, you do have a sexy voice. So we're going to get into that later, your sexy voice. Okay, she is from London, Ontario. Interesting story. She was on a student contract when she went to Club Med. It was part of her program at Fanshawe College. Her first season was at Sandpiper in February as a mini club. So please give a warm welcome to Jessi Weeks. Hey, Jessi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to do this.
Oh, no problem. This is exciting, and it sounds like it's going to be a fun time.
Well, that's my goal, is try to make it fun, and we'll see what happens, because I know I've in your pre-interview, I've asked a few things of you, which you agreed to. So we'll get into that, but don't worry. Hopefully it's as painless as possible. Okay.
Oh, I'm hoping it's painless.
Okay. It will be. So London, Ontario. And as we're recording this, I don't know about Ontario. It's a very, very cold day right now in Canada. Minus 23, or with the wind, minus 30 something. I don't know. It's cold and I don't want to go outside. I don't know about you.
Oh gosh, no. And unfortunately I got to go to work later. So I do have to go outside.
work on a Saturday? Oh,
yeah. It's that whole government office thing.
Sounds like you're back at Club Med working on the weekend.
No, because it's much colder here.
Did you have a 1 a.m. rehearsal last night too? What's going on?
I wish I did, because I actually missed those times.
Okay. Oh God. You miss rehearsal? Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. No, I like dancing, just didn't like rehearsal.
I miss performing, but I don't miss the lack of sleep. True.
When you're not working on the weekend, I'm assuming you could sleep in, right?
Yeah, that odd time when I have a day off.
Okay. All right. So I think you know the format here. So if you can take me back to 2007, we know you're going to college, but how did you know, did you find out about Club Med before that? Did you know about Club Med before you were in college?
I had actually never heard of Club Med at all. And my program advisor, when we were talking about different co-ops we can do and stuff like that, she's like, Jess, listen, with your personality, I have the perfect place. You just got to keep your grades up, but I have the perfect place for you. And it's called Club Med. And I was like, what the heck is a Club Med? And she's like, I want you to go out for coffee with somebody who had actually graduated previously from the program. His name was Trevor Ray, and he used to work for Club Med. So I went out for coffee with Trevor, and he was trying to explain, Club Med and what it is. And of course, you can never quite describe what Club Med is, like trying to tell you how you interact with guests and you eat meals with them, but at the same time you're there to work, but you're partying with them. And it sounds completely surreal. So I kept my marks up, and next thing I know is I get a phone call saying, congratulations, you're going to Florida for 7 weeks and you're going to get paid to do your co-op. And I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and kind of did some research, but back then, 2007, there's not a lot out there. So I had really no idea what to expect when I was leaving. So it was definitely something new and exciting.
Wait a minute. I'm taking a little offense at you're not a lot out there, because I'm a mid-90s Geo. Okay. We had nothing in case 2007. I'm sure the internet was around, wasn't it? Was it?
It was actually that Facebook had just started that year, I believe.
That's right.
If not the previous year. So it wasn't like there was anybody I could look up photos or anything like that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So there wasn't a lot of marketing out there to know exactly what Club Med is.
All right. Now for the co-op, did you have to maintain a 2.5 GPA to remain in co-op?
Well, we used percentages. So I was in 80 to 90.
Okay.
90%. So I had to keep that, and I did. So school went pretty easily for me in that aspect. And then, I was hired to work at Club Med for 7 weeks. Okay.
So what I'm hearing is you're smart as well as beautiful. This is what you're telling me, right? Okay. One of those. All right. Okay. So this is interesting because everyone knows or doesn't know I've been working for university for 14 years. So I know a little bit about co-op and all that. So the school did not really have a contact for you in Club Med. They just suggested this would be good, and they let you try to get the job.
Yeah, exactly. So it had to be a specific recreation field, which obviously a resort is. I went out for that interview with Trevor, and then he was, I guess, the connection with my program advisor because he was a graduate. So that's how she had the connection. But I was given a student visa through Club Med to go to the States. But I still had to do projects while I was there to fulfill my credit.
Wait, can I back you up a bit?
Sure.
Where did your interview take place?
Just at Tim Hortons.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, how Canadian can you get? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have the Timbits? Okay. No. So somebody went to the Tim Hortons where in London, Ontario?
Yeah. So Trevor Ray, I haven't talked to him in years, but he used to be a mini club manager for Club Med. And he happened at the time to be living in London, Ontario. And he was a graduate of my program. So that's how the connection between my program advisor and him. And he was the connection to Club Med.
Are you saying he did your interview?
Yeah, he did my interview over a cup of coffee at Tim Hortons.
So he was hired by Club Med to do your interview. He was like a recruiter.
I don't know if he was working for it or if he was just the connection in between.
Okay.
So
you aced the interview with him and they tell you you're going to Sandpiper?
Yeah, I got a phone call from him saying he got the okay and I was going forward and I was exactly what they were looking for.
Did you choose Mini Club?
No, they chose it for me because I had some previous experience working with children, of course, in camps and stuff like that over the summers. But I have retail experience. I have like a drama and vocal background. So pretty much I could have worked anywhere, but they were needing Mini Club.
Okay. And so Trevor explained to you back then, so 2007, you're one of the most recent GOs I've interviewed. So you had a day off, correct?
Yep, we had one day off a week. But the thing about Sandpiper, which was kind of cool, is we got paid for overtime.
What? Okay, Hold up. Tell me this is not true. Oh my gosh.
So anytime we did shows and stuff like that, if it was over a certain amount of hours, we just had to write down the hours. And I was, of course, being kind of a drama freak. I was in all the shows, even on my days off. And being in the United States, you got paid and you got overtime. So that was kind of a bonus of working in Sandpiper that one time.
Okay, I've never heard this, and I'm sure all the 70s, 80s, and 90s GOs just threw their phone at the wall when they heard this too. Okay, so wow. It wasn't even a dream back then. Like we would get overtime. It was something you could never fathom. So I can't believe. So this is true what you're telling me. You got.
Yep.
I've never heard this before. Okay.
But you had to work over a certain number of hours, right? So and it wasn't the 40 hours a week.
Easy to do, right? In Club Med, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're in the shows and things like that back then, you were able to pull off how many hours a week and you could get paid for overtime.
Well, sure, because if your day off coincided with a rehearsal at, I don't know, midnight, then that would count, right?
Yep, exactly. So I was doing easily overtime of like 20 plus hours a week.
Oh my God. Okay. This is making me a little ill right now. Because I'm sure if we all calculated our overtime for the amount of time we worked in Club Med, wow, I'd be rich. Okay.
Exactly, eh?
All right. So it's still pretty recent then. 2007 is just, a blip away. So do you recall your first week and arriving and your first day? And
I totally so I arrived at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
What? Oh God. Yeah. From Ontario?
From Ontario. It was a late flight because of course they don't choose the easy flights when you're going somewhere.
Okay. So how many airports did you have to bounce to get to?
Just 2. So
okay.
I don't remember which airports, but I always remember every time with Club Med, it was always 2 flights.
Yeah. If not more. Okay.
If not more, exactly. But there was never a direct.
No.
But yeah, so I arrived at the village at like 3 in the morning and I was met by a GO and of course didn't know what a GO meant or anything like that. Gave me a quick rundown of, okay, you're going to meet your manager tomorrow. You have to be at the staff meeting at like 8 in the morning kind of thing. And you'll find it in the morning. It's just at the mini club. So that was pretty much all because I didn't get a tour at 3 in the morning. So set my alarm, went to sleep, and had to search around for the restaurant in the morning for breakfast before finally asking somebody during breakfast and be like, hi, I'm new. where am I supposed to be?
Do you recall when you got to the resort, who the first GO you saw? Was it a traffic GO or reception GO?
Actually, it was a mini club Geo, and his name was Big Mike.
Big Mike?
Yep. Because there were so many Mikes who worked at the resort at that time. They had like Little Mike, Sailing Mike, Big Mike.
And Big Mike was over 6'2", I'm guessing?
He was a curvaceous and charismatic man.
Oh, okay. Nice. And he was from the States?
Yes, definitely from the States.
Okay, so he was chief of mini club.
He wasn't chief of mini club. He worked in the mini club. I believe he was assistant at that time.
Okay. And who was your chief of village in 2007?
David Mayer to start. And then when I went back after my final exams, it was Hammer.
Okay. Oh, great. Oh, cool. All right. Now, what age group were you assigned in the mini club?
I was assigned, I want to say not the littlest, but the 8-year-olds or so. But eventually by the summer, I was in charge of all the teenagers.
Okay. How were the 8-year-olds?
Oh, I love kids in general. So it's just so much fun when you can play with them. You do different games with them, and they're just excited to be there because they're on vacation.
Did you ever get that terror child at all during your time there?
I'm sure, but they aren't the ones that stick out. It's always the fun kids who have a blast that stick out to you.
Oh, good. Good. So when you were, as the weeks go by, and you're looking around the resort, was there another job you wanted to do, or you were content to stay in the mini club?
At the time, I was content to stay in the mini club. Like, I loved performing in the shows and such as well. And then eventually, as I said, I went to the teens because you got a little bit more freedom to create different events with them. So that was really fun to do. But at the time, I didn't know, as I was going back to university, if I wanted a future and what I wanted that future to be. So that took some development over the next couple of years until I went back to Club Med.
Are you saying you had to study while you were working at Club Med?
But while I was a student, I did. And I actually had some projects I had to do and fulfill.
Can you give me an idea of one of these projects you had to do?
So I had to do something I had never done before. And so Club Med obviously is a perfect opportunity. And I had to say and explain how I had to learn that new skill and how it would apply to this position and such. So I used trapeze.
That was your first time learning trapeze?
It was my first time seeing a trapeze as well.
Oh, okay. And did you like it immediately?
Oh, I loved circus. It was something I wish I had been able to do more of throughout my time at Club Med, but with timing and the other responsibilities, unfortunately, coming forward, I did what I could, but I always wished I could have done more.
Did you ever partake in the shows?
I did.
Circus shows. So what was
later on, I learned mini trampoline, which I absolutely loved flipping through the air. And then while I was working in Turks and Caicos a couple of years later, I was actually doing Spanish web and Lira in the shows.
What is the last one you said? Lira? What's that?
Lira. It's the hoop.
Oh, okay. Is that what they're called? Okay. I never.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice. Very cool. Now you said at one point you had to go back. So that was after how many weeks did you have to go back to school?
So I did all my final exams in a total of about 9 or 10 days, when it usually would have taken 3 to 4 weeks to do all your final exams and final projects.
Yes.
And at the same time, I closed up my apartment and moved out, put all my stuff in storage, and then went back to Club Med till the end of the summer.
Okay. All right. So,
yeah.
Okay. So this is interesting. Well, you mentioned you liked performing. So not only did you perform in the circus show, but I took a look at your Facebook page when I begged you to add me as a friend. And you'll notice there's a lot of videos of you singing. Now you do one Adele song. What's that cover you do of Adele that I saw?
Oh, I've done several different Adele songs over the years.
It was the one that they did an SNL sketch on at Thanksgiving. Nothing the best for you. What's the name of that song?
Oh, I have no idea. You were asking me like.
Well, no, it's the breakup. Isn't it the breakup song where she breaks up with this guy and she wishes him well?
Give me a couple seconds and I can figure. I am the worst person when it comes to like. Okay. I can sing a song. I can tell you the lyrics, but the minute you ask me the artist or the title, I'm out.
Oh, really?
I've got the worst memory.
You could cover an Adele song and you wouldn't know the title. Okay.
Oh yeah, I am like horrible that way. I'm always like, the song that goes like this. Yeah, it's bad.
Well, okay. So you have
Someone
several.
Like You. Is that the one?
Yes, exactly. Yes. That one. Okay, yeah, very very nice. I mean, you have several. I've gone through them all, and then rewatching them again, I came across a very nice cheeky picture yesterday. So if you happen to be on Jessi's Facebook, you should check it out. I'm sure you know the cheeky picture I'm referring to. So yeah, okay. So I have a question. I'm trying to introduce a new segment called Harmonize with Hannah. Okay. Now, I found something interesting in my research. You also did an honors recreation and business degree at the University of Waterloo, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like you to either finish this sentence or guess this lyric and say it along with me. Are you ready?
Sure.
My, I tried to hold you back, but you were stronger. Oh, yeah. And now it seems my only chance is giving up the fight. How could I ever refuse? I feel like I win when I lose. Where did you go to school? Waterloo. Oh God. Okay. I even handed it to you. Okay.
You did. And I was like, I know it's ABBA.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yes. I was like, I know it's ABBA, but I can't pick up what the next.
I was trying to incorporate your recreation and business degree, and you took in Waterloo, Ontario with the song Waterloo by ABBA. Okay. Well, okay.
Great connection.
Well, let's get on to when did you find out that you could sing? Because I've always said if there's one thing in the world I could do and would give up everything for is to be able to sing, and you have to be born a singer. So when did you know that you could sing?
I actually grew up singing in my church choir.
That's how so many start, huh? So many singers started that way.
And then,
but how did you know that you were good? Because obviously I'm horrible, but you're good. So were people just saying, or did your parents tell you like, hey, what a good?
I guess when they started giving me solos in church, and then I started singing more in high school in the different choirs and stuff like that. And they started giving me solos. And of course I performed in the school shows, like the school musicals. So I kind of got the idea then that, okay, maybe there's something to this.
Okay, so besides Adele, I just want to get on singers. So besides Adele, whose songs you don't remember, who are your favorite singers, if you remember their names?
For ones I don't sing, I'm a huge fan of Queen. Love Queen. It's obviously not something I sing or anything like that. But Norah Jones, I love singing anything from Norah Jones. Tracy Chapman, huge fan of hers. I love some of her songs. And then it all depends, honestly. It has to be a song that just moves me. I tend to go towards those like romantic, sappy, or breakup songs just because I love the soulfulness that's in there. Big fan of Aretha Franklin, things like that.
Now, let's get back to ABBA one sec, because I've never shied away from my love for ABBA. Okay, I just want to know if you would agree with this. Would you agree that Agnetha, and Frida, the two female singers, are the best female harmonizers of all time?
I don't know about all time, but they've definitely got something that just puts shivers on your arms.
So they're okay, then they would be in top 3, right? Because
they'd probably be in the top 5.
Okay, because I've never heard. I mean, I'm talking just harmonizers. I mean, I can't obviously harmonize because we're gonna bring that up again, because we both have a shared love of Sarah McLachlan, correct?
Yes.
Who's a very well-known Canadian singer.
She's got some beautiful soulful music.
Okay, so part 2 of Harmonize with Hannah. Are you ready? Okay.
We'll find out.
Please jump in and don't let me hang on the line like you did with Waterloo. Okay. I chose an easy one for you.
Okay then.
I knew you wanted to tell me. Boom, boom.
In your voice there was something wrong. But if you would turn your face away from me, you cannot tell me you're so strong.
Wow. Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you. I noticed how I dropped out there. Okay.
I did, and I was
trying to trick you. Okay. No, I can't sing, guys. I wish I could, but I just want everyone to hear your beautiful voice if they haven't already, and to check out your Facebook and your Instagram, which we'll get into later. Okay.
I love Sarah. I love her more modern pop and stuff like that. I love listening to her folksy music, which is like, this is one of her songs.
Yes.
I find it difficult for me though, but I love the sound quality she produces.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that song Vox too, which was one of her earlier hits. When she really hits the high notes in Vox, that's why I gave you an easy one here with terms. Okay.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay. Because you said you hadn't really sang in a while, correct? Like when I
No,
contacted you?
I unfortunately don't get the opportunity working an office desk job now. So
Okay.
it makes
Well,
it difficult.
let's go back to your exciting job. Okay. So you come back to Club Med. All right. Back to Sandpiper.
Yep.
And so if arriving in February, you're, I guess, lucky enough to miss all the Christmas and New Year's stuff. Okay. Which is a lot of work.
Yep.
Did you I guess you seem like a pretty extroverted character. So probably eating meals with guests 3 times a day was probably fun for you, or not a problem
Yeah,
at all.
I actually enjoyed it because it gives you an opportunity to learn from new people, talk to new people, and I'm an extrovert introvert. So I love meeting new people. I can have the conversation with almost anybody, but I definitely like those times when I'm like, okay, I'm going to go read my book. It's my day off. I'm just going to separate.
You read a book in Club Med?
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I love to read.
Really? Voracious reader?
Oh yeah, I can go through a book a week.
True crime? Love stuff? What are we talking about?
It all depends on my mood. If I like anything from supernatural to crime to sci-fi fantasy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You sound like the perfect woman. You sing, you're beautiful. You like sci-fi fantasy. You're checking off all my boxes here. Okay. So you like Star Wars, I'm guessing? Okay.
I'm more of a Trekkie, I have to admit.
Okay. No, that's fine. I like both,
Yeah, I'm more of a Trekkie. And during the height of the pandemic, because I was still working and stuff like that, to like desensitize to everything that was going on, I would, over my morning coffee, I went through all the Next Generation episodes all over again.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, so you probably grew up with Next Gen, right? That's the
Next
kids call it.
Gen, but Voyager, first
Okay.
female captain, loved that.
Yes, that was Janeway?
Janeway, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Who's also on Orange is the New Black. Very, very
Yes.
good actress. Okay. Do you watch Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, the new show?
I don't actually have cable.
Oh boy.
I haven't had cable for years.
Oh, you're not in Club Med anymore. You're allowed cable now,
I know, but
Okay.
I save as much money as I can so I can continue to travel.
Oh, smart. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get into your Instagram later, if that's okay. Can we talk about your Instagram after?
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, good. Now, do you have any funny, clean, appropriate stories from your first season? Like, did anything weird or unusual happen, or something that wasn't funny then it was funny now, or do you have anything like that?
I could tell you about one of my first shows I did.
Yes. Do you remember the name of it?
It was the pirate show in Sandpiper.
Okay.
And loved performing that show. We always had a blast because we all get to pretend to be pirates and stuff like that. But there's a lot of high kicking. And one of the times that we were performing the show, we actually ran out of, the black shorties that you had to wear under all your costumes.
Yes.
So we actually ran out, and I didn't think anything of it. And I had just like they're like a baby pink bikini bottom on underneath.
But not a G-string.
No, not a G-string, just a baby pink, but it was a very light pink color.
Oh boy.
And they had actually put me in the front row.
Oh boy. And as I recall in Club Med, all the kids sit down in the front row, right?
Exactly. So we're doing the high kicking. And of course, I didn't know anything about it until somebody came back partway through the show and they're like, Jess, are you wearing anything? I'm like, yeah. And I like showed my butt. I'm like, I've got my bikini bottoms on. They're like, yeah, but the color doesn't quite work when you're doing the high kicks. And I was like, oh my God.
So you're saying it looked like you were wearing flesh colored, like the pink bottoms match your skin. Okay. So it appeared from the back row you weren't wearing anything. Okay.
Yes, exactly. But I actually was, but I was so embarrassed because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
Okay. And let me guess, a lot of the kids' fathers approached you after the show to buy you a drink, right? No? Okay.
I actually just ended up going to the bar and just, having a couple of brews afterwards to calm down the redness of my face.
Okay. No, but that's okay. Like, it could have been worse if it was G-string night, right? Or laundry laundry night, and all you had left clean with G-strings. Yeah. Ooh, we've all been there, huh? Haven't we, people? Okay. Wow.
But yeah, that was definitely one of the most embarrassing times that, happened to me. I remember different things happening to other people, but for me, after that, I definitely made sure I had my own set of shorties.
Okay. Nice. All right. Now, did you, so in all total, how many like months, not including the time you went back, were you at Sandpiper your first season?
Just 7 months.
Okay, 7 months. So you were there you were there in the summer then, right?
Yeah, I was there until the end of August. And then unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, I left to go to university.
Okay. Yeah, so I just have to remind myself of the college system. So you go to college, then university? It's like, so how many years of college too?
No. So I went to university first, then I left to work for a bit. Then I went and did college for 3 years, and I did 2 different programs there. And then I went and did a 4-year degree at university, but I finished that in 2.5 years.
Hold up. How many are we talking? Was this 90 credits or 120 credits?
Well, a full 4-year degree is, I'm not sure. I just know it's a 4-year degree, but
well, I'm currently, part-time, mind you, an English literature student. My program is 90 credits. So, because I'm saying that's a pretty impressive thing you did. So I'm wondering how many credits was your degree, but you're saying it was a 4-year degree and you did it in 2.5. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So I went through the summers and I did as many courses I could do at the same time. And I was actually working full-time at the same time.
Okay, hold up. Okay, you would have to have done, not counting summer. I know you would have done summer, but you would have done at least 5 during a semester.
Yeah.
How did you do that? How did you work and go to school full time?
Because I was a bartender, so I was able to work at night, and then I would just, either study right after I finished the bar.
Oh my God.
I had courses. I would do how many courses a day. And then I would be at the school from 7 a.m. until I would pretty much leave to go bartend again.
Where did you learn to become a beverage concoctionist? Fancy word for bartender. Where did you learn this?
While I was living in London going to college, I started serving and then started bartending. And I realized it was a really easy way to make some cash and, pay for school.
Okay. Yeah. And you got tips too, I'm imagining, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Wow, this is impressive, because I always tell people if you can go to university full time and don't have to work, do it. But my God, this is crazy. How did you keep that pace up?
Well, when I left Club Med, I realized I really wanted to go back because I had such a great time and I just felt a connection and I felt like this could be a career. And so I pushed myself as hard as I could so I could go back as quickly as I could.
All right. So you finished your degree. What year did you finish your degree in?
I finished the winter of 2009.
Okay.
And then I worked for a couple months and was back in Club Med June 2010.
Now, was it just as simple as picking up the phone and calling Miami saying, what do you got?
Pretty much. I kept in touch with Hammer throughout my university, if it was possible to go if you need somebody for a couple weeks during my winter holidays. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but called him up and I said, listen, I'm ready to go. I'm finished school. This is what I want. And I think it was like a week later that I got the call that, okay, you're leaving in like 10 days or something like that to go to Turks and Caicos.
In 2010?
Yep. In June 2010.
As what?
Funny enough, I worked in the boutique.
You did?
Yeah.
There was no bartending spots open?
No, they didn't put me there. So they put me in boutique because that's what was available. I had some fun for a season or so. And then at the same time working at boutique, I started training to do sailing as well as land sports because I wanted to get into the sports field as I wanted to move up in the company. So if I was working afternoons at the boutique, then I was working mornings at sailing and vice versa.
And how was your sailing?
It was fun. I was learning from a geo named Zorro, utterly fantastic. He knew his stuff and strict, but he was able to teach you the correct way of doing stuff, especially for somebody coming in who had never sailed before.
Do you remember the difference between a tack and a jibe?
Not anymore.
Okay. Sorry. Pop quiz. Okay.
That was only
you're a good student.
12 years ago.
What is the
difference?
That was
12 years
okay.
ago, right?
Doesn't seem that long. 2010. Oh my God, it's true, right?
I know. I still can't believe I'm like, that's like 11 and a half, 12 years ago. Oh my God.
Well, you guys from 2007, 2010, you probably had your phones with you, right? Like you actually. I don't know how the internet was in Turks and Caicos in 2010, but I think it was there, right?
No, I didn't have a phone at the time. Only managers had phones. So I had even my digital camera that I would take. Obviously, if you've been on my Facebook, you know I love to take photos.
I do.
So I took lots of photos, digital camera, uploaded them onto my laptop. And then it wasn't until I became a manager that I was actually given a phone.
Manager of what?
So first I was supervisor of the lifeguards when I got transferred to Punta Cana. And then I moved up to entertainment manager.
Okay, hold up. Okay, so now you're telling me you're a certified lifeguard. So when did this happen? Okay.
I had always been one since I was since I was working day camps and stuff like that, and I just kept it up.
Okay, all right.
Can you tell I'm a little bit of an overachiever?
I was just going to say that word. Okay, well, let's get back to Turks. Do you have any JoJo stories while you were there?
I only saw JoJo from a distance. I never got to see JoJo really close up.
Oh, okay.
And then from a distance one time when coming back from scuba diving.
Okay. And so you go from Sandpiper to Turks. Was there any culture shock going from a family village to a singles resort?
Well, by that time I had been out of Club Med for a couple years. So it was just about getting back into it. It was definitely different because of the whole adult vibe and partying more and such like that. And definitely the shows were a little bit riskier, so to speak.
Well, you still had your black shorts on under your
costume. Oh, definitely never forgot those.
Okay. Yeah, any funny stories from Turks?
Oh, well, I don't know about funny. Like we went through a couple hurricanes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, yeah, because hurricanes are the worst, right? Because of the amount of work you have to do. You're not even really thinking about your safety. It's more like, oh God, we gotta clean up. And if you've ever had a really bad one, that clean up last.
And we did. Yeah, we did have a pretty bad one. So where we even all the staff got moved into the upper levels of the GM rooms.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You remember the name of that one or no?
Oh, no.
It was still 2010, right?
It was either 2010 or early 2011.
And did it go right through the village? Did it cause a lot of damage or no?
Thankfully, it didn't cause too much damage. Definitely just a huge cleanup the day after with all the leaves down and everything like that. And we had to get stuff out of the pool that had flown in. But definitely went with some people to take photos of the ocean right in the middle of it.
Oh, was that
probably was not smart?
Was that those pictures from that day?
No, I didn't post any of those pictures from that hurricane.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it didn't look like a hurricane in the background, but not that I was looking at the background, maybe the foreground. But so okay. Did you meet any celebrities at all during your time in Club Med? Or anyone?
Punta Cana, I did.
Who?
So we had Olivia come and rent out the village.
Okay. Can you tell our listeners what Olivia is if they don't know?
So Olivia is a tour company for lesbians. And so they rented out the entire village for 2 weeks and they had different celebrities come and different comedians, and it was their village for the entire time. So what was actually kind of cool is as of 5 p.m., all the guys had to go back to their room. And that's where they spent the time. The girls, we were allowed to come out to interact, of course. But the only team that was allowed to have the guys out at night was the entertainment team, who I was in charge of entertainment at that time, because they were just so friendly and great that actually after a couple nights of them kind of hiding away, one of the organizers of Olivia was like, hey, do you mind? Like, do you think they would mind coming and talking to the guests? Because some of the guests think they're really cool. And so I talked to my team and they were totally fine with that.
Okay. This is so unfair. Okay. Because I've never had the chance to get sent to my room at 5. Okay. But I would have liked the experience because I never got to experience Atlantis. And I always thought how great it was. So Olivia is probably the female equivalent of Atlantis.
Correct? Oh, it was a lot of fun. Like they are quite the partiers.
So what celebrities did they bring? Did you recognize any of them?
They brought Wanda Sykes, for instance.
Are you serious? Wanda Sykes was there? Oh, she's Wanda hilarious.
So she did 2 performances, 2 different nights. Super nice woman, absolutely fantastic, very professional. And of course, us being there, like I always get people asking, well, did you take photos with any of the celebrities you met? And I honestly didn't, because I was there, especially working entertainment, I was there to assist them. I wasn't there to bug them and be fangirling, so to speak. So I actually never took any photos with any celebrities.
Were you head of the lifeguards in Punta Cana?
No, I was actually at that time, this would have been my 2nd year. I was in charge of all the entertainment.
Really?
Yeah.
You were chef animation?
I was.
Wow. So did you have to do a stage for that?
So I was actually, so after my first year in Punta Cana, I was supposed to be going to Sandpiper to be chief event entertainment there, but the visa didn't work out. So they brought me back to Punta to help out because at the time, the chief of animation there wasn't quite working out with the chef de village. So they brought me in to just assist. And then it turned into me taking over.
Okay, I see. All right. Wow.
And that transaction actually happened. I would say the official me taking over happened right after I had emergency surgery in the Dominican.
Oh boy. Are you able to talk about that or not?
Oh yeah, I ended up having appendicitis.
Oh, where were you when it first hit? Like your pain in the stomach? Where were you?
Well, I actually didn't know that's what it was because I had been training with circus at the time. So I just thought, oh, my abs are sore from like working out. And this was early February of, I want to say 2013. So I had just come back as of a month prior. So I was just assisting, seeing how I could help out. And then I woke up in the middle of the night, and back then they didn't have phones in the GO rooms. So I had nowhere to call to say, hey, something's wrong. So I had to try and make my way at like 3 a.m. to reception. And by then I was like hunched over, like could barely walk, had to go to the doctor and waited for the doctor to show up to the nursing station. And they did some tests on me and called an ambulance, and I was brought straight to the hospital to have emergency surgery.
Whoo, boy. Were you worried at all?
Pardon?
Were you worried at all?
Well, nobody was speaking English to me, so I didn't really understand what was going on other than I remember being in the hospital and everybody was trying to talk Spanish to me, and I didn't speak Spanish, so I didn't understand what was going on until they kept saying surgery, surgery. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm having surgery. And as they're doing the anesthesia, the nurse who was there did not speak English. And I remember this so well, is she kept saying, it's okay, God with you with God. And that was as I was going to sleep. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Thankfully, I woke up. But yeah, I had no real understanding because I didn't have a translator at the time.
Good Lord. And was there anyone with Club Med there with you, next to you?
Not before the surgery. I woke up and there was somebody there. But when I went into surgery, no, there was nobody there.
So, wow. So how long were you in the hospital after the surgery?
For 3 days, 2 nights. And then I was supposed to be on bed rest for like the next 2 weeks. But I was only on bed rest for about a week as I ended up taking over as chief of animation. And it was Easter weekend.
So you worked a week later after?
Yeah, I worked a week later. Was it Easter weekend? Maybe not Easter weekend. It was some big event that they definitely needed me like right away.
Wow. Okay. So no going home to rest. You went like right into it. Okay.
I'm again an overachiever.
Yes.
But my entertainment team was utterly fantastic. Like if they saw me, because I push myself, they saw me even trying to lift something like over 5 pounds, they would take it away from me and they were like, no. So my team was utterly fantastic. My Punta Cana.
You want to mention any of these people?
Oh, there's too many.
Oh, okay.
But all I have to say is my boys in Punta Cana, they know who they are. And they were probably one of they're top one. They're tied with another team I had, but they were utterly fantastic.
Where was the other team? What village?
Would have been in Malaysia.
Oh, you got to go overseas.
I did.
You went to Cherating.
I did. And I was actually working at different resorts in Asia for about 3 years.
You went to Bali as well, I guess?
Yes. So I went from Cherateen. I was there for a year. Then I went to Yabuli in China for a season. Then I went to Phuket in Thailand for a season, and then Bali for a season.
Well, let's get back to the Yabuli, the one in China. Wow, yeah, I think you're definitely the first guest on who worked there. So what's that like? That village?
I was told it was going to be freezing, but coming from Canada, it definitely reminded me of the weather here. I was in charge of all the sports and entertainment there. So it was definitely a new experience because you had to do like entertainment before they went out skiing, entertainment after they came back from skiing. But it was a whole different atmosphere.
Okay, so it's a ski village.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you able to describe the resort for people who've never seen it? Like, is it high? Is there a certain altitude it's at, or does it look like any other ski village you would see?
I haven't been to a lot of ski villages, honestly. It was my first one. I felt it was beautiful. It had this lovely clock tower that was right in the middle of the village square. And everything on the inside was very high ceilings, very clean, organized, and modern looking.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed it.
I'm guessing majority of the guests were Chinese, right?
I would say 98%.
Okay.
So that was a new experience.
How's your Mandarin or Cantonese?
Non-existent.
Okay.
And back then, that was also the season I was there was the season that the Chinese businessman bought Club Med.
That's right.
So that was he came to Yabuli and we had a big celebration for that. But a lot of the guests, it was their first time ever going to a Club Med and they didn't understand the concept. So you would go and be like, hi, can I eat my meal with you?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah, sure. You'd sit down and they'd suddenly stand up and move to a different table.
Yes. That's all. Yeah.
So it was definitely interesting because you're trying to interact and they don't understand what you're there to do.
Yeah. I had a similar situation in Ria Bintan, when I was in Indonesia. Yeah. And Israel. Okay. And everyone spoke English.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah. So how did you communicate it all? Because I mean, unless they spoke English, did a lot speak English?
I found, have you ever played charades?
Yes.
Okay. Charades came in very handy.
Okay, so you were doing that. So this is why you told me earlier when I heard you clapping, you talk with your hands. Okay. So,
I do. Okay, and I'm very expressive with my face. It's horrible.
Are you good at charades?
I would say I'm pretty decent.
Did you pick up any words or phrases while you were there?
In Mandarin, like I can, and I still actually use them now because we get a lot of people from around the world at my place of work. So I can say like, hello, how are you? Thank you. And things like that in a couple different languages, as probably you can as well.
Let's hear it.
Ni hao ma, how. So, so just the basics to say the least.
Wow.
Just the basics to get by.
Okay. And I can imagine, and what month did you arrive there?
I arrived there in, I want to say, first week of November.
Okay. So what was the Chinese New Year celebration like? I assume you were there for that, right?
It was utterly fantastic. We decorated the entire resort and it was just beautiful and such an experience to actually celebrate Chinese New Year in China. Like I had obviously celebrated it before in Malaysia, but to be in China for this was just beautiful. Having the lion dancers and different things like that. It was just a beautiful experience.
Were you the only North American GO there?
Our costume designer was from Mexico. I'm trying to think. I think I was at the time.
Who was your chief there? Chief of village?
Chief of village was from France. He no longer works. Vincent.
Okay. Oh, I see. Wow.
Yeah.
Were there certain village chief of villages you click with the most? And if so,
Eduardo Rojas.
Okay.
He was chief of sports when I started in Sandpiper, and then we worked together in Punta Cana when he was chief of village. And at first we were kind of, unsure because he came in just as I was leaving Punta Cana to go to Sandpiper, and then I was actually brought back. So we were kind of like, after Punta Cana, I was ready. Like after that first year in Punta Cana, I was ready to go. Like I was ready for my next village, and everything kept being delayed. And I was like, listen, I need to go home. I need a vacation. Like it's been as you know, Punta Cana it's a machine, right? So we were kind of like bristly with each other. Our first kind of re-meeting when he was chief of village, But after working together in Punta for my second full year, he actually was the one to bring me to Malaysia.
Oh, okay. Wow. Great.
So, and he was actually the one who asked me to take over as chief of animation in Punta Cana that year. So.
Okay. And how many times were you chased by monkeys in Cherating? Because so many people
Too
have
many.
chasing me.
Too many.
Yeah.
I remember so many times having like opening my door and then having to close my door quickly and calling security to be like, I can't leave my room because there's a pack right outside my door and they're vicious.
Yeah. One's not bad, but when they're all there, like we had in Bintan, we had one of those annex restaurants, which was right on the ocean, and they would come and just sit down next to your plate and give you a look like, are you going to finish that? Not that they're asking, right?
Oh, exactly.
And there's nothing you can do.
No, and those teeth, especially the ones that are like, when they sit down, they're the size like of up to your hip. They are scary.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you have the little ones who, if you're pushing a baby and the baby has like a milk bottle, they'll just go in, reach in, grab the milk bottle and run off.
Yeah. Or if you don't lock your door or your patio, they take off with your camcorder. I've seen everything.
Yeah. But Cherating was interesting because we actually had a flood as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So all the managers area was flooded up until, let's see how high, maybe to the top of where your bed was. So it completely flooded. So a lot of us had to throw it. Like I had to throw out all my luggage and purchase new luggage.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Cause it was all like that icky, moldy water.
Now, was that part of the rainy season or was this just some fluke storm?
No, it's definitely part of the rainy season. So, and I was actually on crutches at the time. So I was trying to empty out my room while on crutches and it's like flooded up to my knees.
Not so fast there. Okay. Let's hear this accident. Okay.
I know. I tend to have a lot of injuries.
I know you were running from a pack of monkeys. You tripped on a rock. No, what happened?
No. So in Cherating, the major injuries that I had other than broken toes while dancing is I actually tore a ligament in my foot. And then because I kept working on that while I was dancing in the shows one night, I heard a pop and ended up having to go to emergency because I had torn my calf muscle.
Okay, but how did the initial injury, take place?
I'm not sure how the ligament was torn.
Were you kicking a monkey or something?
Yeah, probably. No. Okay. I'm one of those people. I push myself and I keep going, and like
overachiever. Yeah.
I am.
Okay. All right. So how long were you on crutches?
I was off work for a week. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely interesting experience again, going, so I've been to hospitals around the world. It's always interesting to say.
Okay. Well, now when you were in Malaysia, I'm assuming they sprayed nightly or weekly for the malaria, right? Did they do that in Cherating? Did they spray that really?
I remember them spraying.
Choking, horrible tasting, smelling.
See, I remember that more in Punta Cana for the mosquitoes.
They sprayed.
I don't remember it as much in.
Really? Okay, because you
have
they malaria
did the outside of the resort, but not as much as Punta Cana where they did the inside of the resort.
Oh, okay. I wasn't at Punta long enough to recall the spraying for mosquitoes. But why? But there's no malaria in Punta Cana, right? I mean, it's just
but the mosquitoes are just really bad.
Yeah, they come out at night, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So where was your last season then?
My very last season was Bali. And I actually had an affectation to go to Khmer as chief of entertainment there.
And Bali, you were chief of entertainment as well?
Yep.
Okay. So you didn't wind up going to Turkey?
I ended up not. The visa fell through, which ended up being smart because that summer, the summer I was supposed to be there, that was when all the bombings happened.
This was what year? What year again?
2016.
Okay. So it's not so long ago you were in Club Med.
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
I only left in 2016. So they were going to offer me to go to another village as I was being requested, but then my mom was having some issues. So I made the decision to stay at home instead of continuing with Club Med just to be closer to her and to the family.
Because you sound like you were working your way up to chief of village, right?
I was. That's where the intention was going.
Okay. overachiever, all that stuff. Okay. Okay.
Yet again.
Okay. Yet again. Wow, there's some stories you have. Oof.
I know.
I didn't realize you went overseas, and I didn't realize you worked for so long in Club Med. Wow.
I loved it. Like I said, I felt that was my career path going forward. And then of course life happens and suddenly things have to change.
Wow. Okay. Were there any other in all your time, like, because we get there's so few moments where we get to thank someone or recognize someone. So besides the Edward Rojas, was there anyone else you wanted to mention? Like someone made an impression on you? Or
Hammer was fantastic. I was part of his last season when I was at Sandpiper, and he was just a great contact throughout the years for if I had any questions and stuff like that. And I would just have to say the entertainment teams that I worked with around the world, each of them brought their own special uniqueness that I look back on photos and I'm like, oh, I remember this, or I remember this, or, oh, this was my favorite show we produced. And there's just so many different people who brought different elements to make those memories possible.
Wow. Very well put.
So yeah, I loved producing shows with my teams. Like that was my favorite thing. It was, we got to be creative and we came up with brand new things that people hadn't seen before.
And do you have in all your seasons, did you have a favorite animation passage that you saw an animator do that cracked you up?
I didn't work with animators.
No, but just even a geo in a resort, like your first season, like, I mean, that type of thing. Did you ever see, because how they do their passages, right? So was there a passage that you thought was unique or made you crack up? I
have to say, like, anybody who was like even close to any type of animator who did anything like that was in Punta Cana. He worked in the mini club and then became chief of mini club. His name was Radimus. And he just brought such a uniqueness, and he had the heart of a child, and he just connected with the kids so well. Like he would be walking around the village dressed in a diaper, interacting with the parents and stuff like that. And then the next time you would see him, he was dressed as Superman on top of a golf cart driving around the resort. Like he just brought this childlike humor that made everybody smile. And I think it was just fantastic. And he actually came with us to Charitine when we went, and he brought that same thing. And it was especially going to a new country and a new zone. He brought the smiles to people that even it oversaw, even if there was no similar language, he was able to bypass that blockade of communication by bringing his humor forward.
Wow, very nice.
So there's so many good memories of so many different people. Like you go through it and we're having this conversation and I'm just like, oh, I remember this happening, or I remember this. And it's a place that brings you back to smiling. And it's just beautiful memories.
Well, getting back to the can't even say it. Yabuli. What were the crazy signs like there? Were they all Chinese crazy signs? Like
from all over. We had our favorites, like the old school ones. Well, not so old school, Blame It on the Boogie and stuff like that. But then you had brand new ones some were from Thailand, some were from China, some were from Korea. Like they were just from all over. And it was really interesting to learn all these new ones. And then my hope was to bring them back to the North American zone, but unfortunately I never went back. But it was just a high energy I found in Asia.
You have a top 3 favorite crazy signs of your own?
Oh, Hong Dong is definitely up there. Blame It on the Boogie is very classic. And Car Wash.
Car Wash?
Yeah.
Like that old song, Car Wash? Or is this a new song?
Yeah,
I don't
the
know
old song Car Wash.
There's a crazy sign to Car Wash?
There is.
10 years in Club Med, I've never heard of the Car Wash crazy sign. Okay.
You're
working at the car wash. Yeah, that song from the 70s?
that one. You're going to have to YouTube it.
God, who made this one up? Yikes. Okay. I know someone made that up because, I did 10 years. I never saw the car wash crazy
It's
sign.
a lot of the wax on, wax off movements with a lot of hip.
Oh, from Karate Kid? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Cobra Kai, Netflix. Check it out. Okay.
Exactly. You got to YouTube it all.
Okay. Wow. This is amazing. So am I forgetting to ask you anything? I don't, you've been so entertaining. I don't want to let you go unless or is there another story you want to tell me?
Oh,
Like,
I could talk forever about stories. Like that's not a
well, I
problem.
like, I like my funny stories, my funny, clean, appropriate ones, mind you. But yeah, if you have something, I don't want to let you go unless I know I've taken up a lot of your time, but there's something I'm forgetting to ask you or you wanted to say. Yeah, please tell
No,
me.
there's like honestly there's just so many memories that are out there, and I'm sure it's the same for you and for anybody out there listening who is an ex-geo, that yeah, you had the problems, you had like those hard times, but as time goes by when you're not in the club, all that comes forward is those good memories. And
Yes.
all those hardships that you went through, they kind of disappear. And like definitely building up to this interview today, so to speak, I had one of those Club Med moment dreams where I dreamt I was still back in Club Med kind of thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
And
that. So
so,
you get those
oh, I do like once a month,
regularly, and
like once a month
you're working, right?
still.
Are you working like the whole dream?
Oh
Like,
yeah. I've
okay.
woken up before because my dream has been like my day-to-day routine at Club Med. And I've woken up looking through my drawers going, oh my God, what color polo do I have to wear today? And then I'm like, oh, I don't have a dress code. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's always something in the dream where I'm stressing out over, like I can't even enjoy it or even be there as a guest. Why am I always working? Okay.
I know. Even when I have been on Club Med as a guest, which was very rare, but the odd time, I still ended up working. So, and I was okay with that.
Really? Wait a minute. You saying so after you stopped Club Med, you went back and you wound up working?
Oh yeah, like one of the times with the Soul family, we did an ex-geo reunion in Cancun a couple years ago, and I decided to go.
Wait.
So I was talking to
What's the Soul family?
Soul family is run by Steve Riley. He's an
Oh yeah.
ex Village, so he runs these travel trips and such like that. And so there was an ex-geo reunion in 2018 in Cancun, and it happened to coincide with my birthday. So Steve and I talked, and I ended up performing for a couple nights and helping out wherever he needed help. And then I was able to go on vacation. And of course, I paid as well, but I didn't mind helping out with stuff like that because I enjoyed it.
Yes. So yeah, this reminds me to your Instagram, Jess_Canadian_traveler. Correct? That's you.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
700 followers. Wow. I'm going to try and get you up
Definitely
to
not an
1,000.
influencer here.
Is it okay? But it's okay if I post a link to your Instagram so people
Yeah,
can
go for
check
it.
it out. Okay. So when did you start this Instagram account?
I started back in Punta Cana, just when when it was starting to build up. I knew it was just for me. It was never going to be like what nowadays influencers have or anything like that. But it was just my way of posting different things that I was like, oh, I think this would be really cool to post, and my different travels and stuff like that. I really should get back into it as my travels have continued now. So I really have to start posting photos again.
Well, I mean, COVID, yeah, kind of put a dent in that, I guess, right? In everyone's travel plans, right? I mean,
definitely. But I was able in 2021, I was able to travel again because one of my goals when leaving Club Med was I wanted to visit a minimum of one new country a year. So I have been able to somewhat continue with that. And I was able to I went to Jamaica for my 40th last year. So
Jamaica
that was
me
nice.
crazy. Was that fun?
It was fun. I had never been to Jamaica before. I actually got to one of my best friends from Sandpiper, actually, that we've continued to be best friends, and we've traveled to different countries together. Christy, she's my travel bestie. And she actually was able to come up for my birthday. And then one of my university buddies, he came with me. And then we actually met up with an ex-geo I worked with in Turks, Kevin. He's Jamaican and lives there. And so he was able to join us for a little bit of the vacation as well. So it was really great. It was a mixture of different people from my life from different times. And it was just great to meet up with them again.
Sounds like you got in all sorts of trouble.
As much trouble as a 40-year-old old lady can do.
Well, you do say that you love travel, good food, and great wine. So are you red wine or white wine, or it doesn't matter?
It depends on if red wine for a good conversation where you want to savor it. And, that conversation you're going to have for like 3 hours. White wine, definitely over dinner.
Okay. Well, we're going to hope you guys check out Jessi's Instagram. I will post it in her episode description. Wow, this has been great. You've been so kind with your time. Like I said, I've taken up already an hour, but I don't want to take up too much more.
I do have to go to work at some
yes,
point.
exactly. I know. I have to let you get ready and put on what's the dress code at work today? Is it all white?
Okay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, how'd you know?
To match the outside. Okay.
Oh yeah. What a horrible day.
I miss Clubhead every day, but more so in the winter, right? When winter comes, you're like, oh, why did I leave?
Exactly. I still think that way. Like I like snow on Christmas, maybe,
yes.
for Boxing Day, but then
yes,
it's okay.
I always said that. Yeah. Then you can get rid of it,
Exactly. And then bring me back to the beach. Like I am such a beach bum total. I prefer being on the beach. It is my away zone. And then my place where I can finally zone out and relax is actually scuba diving. So anything to do with the beach and the ocean, that's where my heart belongs.
With your work-wise, are you able to attend that reunion in May that's coming up or no?
It's as much as I would like to, it's a little out of my price zone. Mm-hmm. So I won't be going. But as I did, and this is one of my things, is I want to see as much as the world out there as I can. So I'm actually going to Egypt in October.
Oh, that's my dream destination. Are you serious?
Yeah. So I found a great tour for a great price. And I'm actually going with I call them my Zoom family. So they are ex-GOs as well. And since COVID started, we've been Zooming every week on the dot, every either Saturday or Sunday. And we're all from different generations of ex-GO. And Tim is actually part of this group. Some of them worked in the 90s, some of them worked in early 2000s. But yeah, we Zoom every single day. And one of those people, Jeff, he's actually come to Egypt.
I'm so jealous. That's my one destination. I had the chance to go for the day and when I was in Israel, but I didn't want to go to Egypt for the day. I want to go for 2 weeks to see everything. So
let me know. I'll send you the link. You're more than welcome to join.
My nephew is currently, he's been in Egypt for a while. So yeah, let's just chat after this when I stop the recording here, just to get more info. Okay.
Not a problem.
Hopefully I can be featured on Just Traveler Instagram. Okay.
You never know. And it's a great deal. So.
All right. Well, everyone. Well, thanks again, Jessi. I really appreciate it.
No worries. This was a lot of fun.
You've been awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much for asking me.
All right, everyone. That was Jessi Weeks from London, Ontario, not England. And we'll see you all next week. Say bye, Jessi.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.